One of those suckers.
Hello.
Hi, what's up, Wardy? Welcome back.
Hi. What did you do?
Nothing. I kept them entertained. Don't you worry, my friend.
Yeah, amazing. I heard a little bit, but then I had to meet you because the person at the door was like, "Why are you listening to someone while I'm trying to talk to you?" I'm like, I'm making sure he doesn't fuck up my work, but
Good point. This would be a good point if you knew the other guy on the line, though. Then you'd understand.
yeah.
No. I was nice to you and your viewers. They all felt safe and at home with me.
Nice.
I might have taken a couple to my part of this house. So, in the top left, spawning as the blue Zerg player, it is going to be Rogue. And in the bottom right, spawning as the red there and playing for team TvZ, it's going to be INnoVation, who has a very peculiar spelling of the word innovation with the capitals in the weird locations, right? The capital N, the capital V. It looks kind of good, but it might just look good because I'm used to it, you know? Sometimes you have this with songs where you're not sure if you like the song because it's a good song or because you heard it so much that you kind of think it's a good song. I had that, for example, with Baby Shark.
Baby Shark, do.
Yeah. I legitimately think it's one of the real bangers from 2020, but I'm not sure if that's because I heard it so much. It's 2019?
No, mate.
2018? I got introduced to it last year. I was maybe a bit slow on the train. Yeah, 2 years ago. I don't know, man. How am I supposed to know that? It's been stuck in my head ever since I heard it first. 2016.
Yeah.
It's been a short 4 years, my friend.
It's been a short 4 years. I know why it is. You're stuck in 2016 because that's the year you won all those tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one.
Every day I wake up with my 2016 calendar, you know. Do you know the movie 50 First Dates?
No.
Okay, basically, so nothing important is happening. If everyone complains about this, you can actually go suck it. So the movie 50 First Dates, it's basically a guy, he sees a girl and he likes her a lot. But this girl, she forgets everything at the end of the first day, okay?
And then you've got him.
This happened on her birthday. So every single day, her dad pretends it's her birthday again. So he like prints the same newspaper.
Yeah,
and they can do the same thing. Like he paints the shed.
Yeah.
Every single day because that's what he said he was gonna do the day before. Because she only has a memory
of
up
one
to
day.
that point.
Yeah,
of 1 day up to that point. So I'm basically the same. I read the same papers like, oh, 2nd of February 2016, this is great. I'm looking forward for GPL. I wonder if I can do something big there.
Well, see, you're actually living in before you even win the tournaments.
Yeah. I just lived the entire year day by day. So right now we're the 27th, and
right,
it's crazy that they inaugurated Trump 7 days ago. I didn't think they'd go through with it. 2015 has been a crazy year, man. Crazy. Oh no, wait, I'm too early. The election was in 2016. 2017 they announced. Oh, I don't even know about Trump yet. Yikes.
Everyone's looking at you with a funny right now.
All right. Let's have a look at what's actually happening, Wardy. We have a Banshee here. Banshee with cloak. We have a couple of cars. Just playing a pretty standard opener, but this was with a fast third as well, so a lot more eco-focused than we saw Sol be in those games earlier. Now, did Rogue manage to figure it out yet? No, he hasn't seen anything yet. It's funny that Rogue just kind of feels these things. Every single game against Sol, he blindly built a baning nest at like 350. But here, Rogue didn't see, I guess you can see it by the Hellion timing, huh? I guess that's the real giveaway.
Yeah, I guess so. I feel like that's one of the things we need a pro Zerg player for or something, but just got us sandwiches instead, so...
I'm pretty sure that's it. Like, because you delay your Hellions a bit when you play triple CC. You don't quite have the cash.
Yep.
Because you get your starport second gas, right? It's all pretty tight around that timing. So
it's very mineral heavy.
Yeah, very mineral heavy. So I think usually you even start them in like a stuttered way, you know? So you get your first Hellion at like, I think it's like 309, and then your second one at like 314 or 313. And that's already like 3 or 4 seconds later than usual. So I think that's how how Rogue is kind of getting these clues. Now this does sound pretty scary though. What if someone opens up with like a 2cc build and just delays the Hellions for 7 seconds just to banter with you, you know? Like, then all of a sudden you don't have a Baneling nest. I feel like these type of clues are only good if you don't solely rely on these, right? Like there's some follow-up scout, there is some confirmation going on, because otherwise it could go bad. Man, he started cloaking really early, by the way, with these 2 Banshees. All the way from the middle, he just cloaked them. No way in hell that Rogue is gonna figure that out. Does he even have a spore ready? Oh yeah,
Nope.
there's no spore, Barty.
There's one to the side, but it's not in position. But there's no spawn in the natural expansion. So if he goes to the natural, he's gonna just have an absolute field day with the drones. So this was actually one of the issues that Rogue had against Soul as well, right? But Soul didn't go for the mineral line because he was killing queens to open up the Hellbat attack. And so these
also
Banshees...
Soul only had a single one, to be fair. Waited till 2. I mean, this is 16 workers down the drain. Now, I know that the Rogue is very good, but going down 20 workers against 2 Banshees, that's not really what's supposed to happen there. It's just keeps rallying them in as well. You know, it's like, well, all right, if you want to feed me 2 more, that's fine. You know, like I can live to that. I actually kind of wanted to go home, but I guess if you insist, I mean, it's just an insane position. This is one of these games where we could have these like a complete deception. You know, like walks in with 2 medevac and just kills Rogue. It's completely possible at this point.
Yep. No, I mean, this is absolutely a situation where you just get so far ahead that, now Rogue has to spend so much time rebuilding drones. How is he ever meant to get the worker count up? So Rogue needs a good trade to be in the game, even. So it's a little bit rough. I do like that he's going for the Hydra den, at least. I feel like the Hydras are oftentimes like the best kind of sturdy way to sort of hold. When it comes to kind of bio pushes against Lingbane Hydra, Hydras do trade maybe the best out of all the Lingbane combos. So I like that, and maybe gives him the chance to go Lurkers as well, which obviously, maybe gives you that efficiency to defend and hold on for long enough to maybe get back in it too. As the Hellions do get caught for the most part, so it's a good start for Rogue, and now he can respond over to the left-hand side now that he's dealt with those Hellions.
Yeah, Hellions get chased all the way back home. Rogue actually has a surprising supply count in this game. I'm kind of impressed, honestly. I mean, this makes you wonder what would have happened if the Banshees only get like 10 kills, Like this was 20 freaking kills. That's a big amount of kills, and Rogue seems to be kind of fine, honestly.
Yeah, I always feel like it's very deceptible though in TvZ, because I feel like maybe this attack doesn't look like much, but then suddenly INnoVation will show up with like the 2-2 time, and it's like, holy crap, like, why is he so far ahead? And then you're like, wait a second, is this all from those 20 Banshees? Why wasn't it apparent sooner? It's just one of those things where certain phases of the game, like those can almost like mask how far behind they are. So I'm not convinced just yet. You can see Inno still has like a bit of a lead overall in supply, and that's obviously not usually great for a side.
Yeah, that's true. We also see the fort base already landing here for Inno. Big run by being set up though. I don't think he's gonna be able to catch it before. No, he will actually. Rogue going in at the perfect time. It's gonna catch these SCVs before the planetary finishes. There's a bunch of Marines in the natural though, but I think a lot of SCVs are gonna go down here. 10 workers do go down. If Rogue just moves out of here, this was a very, very useful trade for him. Now, there's not that many Banelings with this army though, and Inno... Oh!
Wow, honestly, only 1 Baneling connected. If that Baneling didn't connect, these Marines would be so healthy still, and honestly, they still are. I love to jump up into the main, just give you a bit of time for the medevacs to heal up. And now you've got this bio army still threatening from the high ground, and you've obviously already gotten a good amount of drone kills. He is going to lose, truly, a medevac. Okay, that wasn't the medevac I thought was going to die, but he does get one of them. As Inno now going to reinforce with the units that defended the 4th base, which is now a planetary, so that's the good news for INnoVation. While he lost workers, he didn't have to lift the base, so he was able to finish into a planetary, saving him from further run-by issues.
A little mine hit on the fort base once again, gets 4 workers. Rogue falling behind kind of heavily now, and then this is what you were alluding to, right? This is not the fight that Rogue wants. There's not enough Banelings here. He did have decent supply. Now that supply is falling behind rapidly as well. His creep spread is mediocre at best, and we have a 4 mine drop heading out for INnoVation. Now, I've seen a lot of 4 mine drops, Wardy, but they always get some kills. They always get some freaking kills. There's already drilling claws, right?
Yes, he went drilling claws super early, so...
Yeah. Last time Inno played on that Aura, it was against, or the last time I saw it was against Raynor, and instead of researching drilling calls, he accidentally got the Cyclone upgrade. So he dropped like 3 medevacs without really realizing. It's like, holy crap, these burrows slow. start his drilling claws afterwards. So I'm happy to see that not be a repeat. It's gonna be dropping into this third base. Gonna get a bunch of drones. Oh my god. 11 workers go down, 80 against 73. Massive drop into the main base, but there's Hydras in position. This is not gonna work. He doesn't give a crap. Gets 2 medevac snipe. Holy cow, this was one hell of a way to start a fight.
Yeah. If the Banelings if the Widowmine's got like a few of those Banes, then INnoVation could stick around. The thing is, these are all still fantastic trades for Inno, right? And it's just gonna rally him to, once he rallies everything together, each fight goes a little bit worse for Rogue. And all he's doing is just about holding on. He is keeping 5 bases, which is nice, but I'm not sure how long he's going to be able to keep that. Now we've got pressure on 2 sides of the map. INnoVation responds to these Banelings, gets rid of them, and now he will turn and fight these Hydras, which actually there's mostly Marauders here, so they don't do like a ton of damage output compared to Marines. And so the Hydras might be able to clean this out. And, well, until the reinforcements show, then they are going to catch these Hydras, and that is going to get expensive.
Yeah, 5th base already up for INnoVation at this point as well. I think that even got created on location, right? So that tells you something about how good INnoVation feels about this game. It's gonna go for another drop into the main base. Rogue's not really ready for it. And the rest of the forces all get rallied towards the right side to try and make a push on this 5th here. Now main base is kind of exposed. There's a bunch of Banelings. Mine's not really hitting the opponent units, but do take out 2 medevacs, I believe. So that's nice for Rogue, who's still trying to hold on. His Lurker then just finished, so perhaps with some Lurkers it's possible. Start Seismic Spines, a couple of extra Banelings. His creep spread is not looking healthy, but he has 89 workers, and that's an okay eco for this point in the game.
Ooh, nice Overseer drags the Widowmine over the bio, so he's able to kind of help out there by putting the splash damage out, and it's just going to force the bio to back away to get healed. So that will happen, and it's just going to be seeing the Ling Hydra Bane Force gathering up to defend the left side, which is INnoVation's next major point of attack. That's where units are rallying up to. Of course, there's just been no pressure on INnoVation's side, so he's just building command centers freely. He's got bases everywhere. He's got a lot more than what you would expect a Terran to have at this stage of the game usually.
Yeah, definitely. And Rogue has not been too great at cleaning up these mines. Every single time these fights happen, these mines kind of seem to survive. And even now, there's like literally 4 freaking mines at his 4th base, and they're just not being cleaned up. There was 2 mines on the right side earlier as well. Now, once again on the right side, a little bit of a push. A lot of Marauders in this army will be able to tank these Banelings. Not with the hottest micro here is Inno. A lot of medevacs with this army as well. These mines shot once again on the left side, by the way.
They hit all the Hydras.
One mine has 10 kills. 13 kills.
Yeah.
2 mines with 10, 1 with 13. Holy crap.
They're having a fantastic time, the Widowmines, for sure, as INnoVation. He's just got so much money in the bank while having an overwhelming force. He's got 180 to 150 supply and still has 1.5k minerals and gas to spend. Ling counterattack is going to find what? A finishing command center? Maybe he can get a cancel on a base, which INnoVation doesn't really need to keep alive. He's got other CCs right next to it, which he can float over. So that's the smallest worry in the world for him at the moment.
Sure. I mean, if we look at the game like that, it doesn't look too great for Rogue. It looks pretty terrible, but I actually do believe he has somewhat of a chance. Like, he's gonna be going into a lot of Lurkers. Lurkers do have it's the only unit Zerg actually have that kind of has a counter-attack in them, right? Like, if you siege up with Lurkers in a good position, Terran can just die. So perhaps if Inno keeps taking fights, like not in the greatest way, and then Rogue managed to get in a counter-attack here or there. Like right now, for the first time, we see him being busy with links again. We see him sending out units to actually try and do something on the other side of the map. He is maxed. He has 87 workers. Sure, he doesn't have a 6th base yet. Sure, his trades so far haven't been great. We're looking at a 5k deficit here for him. It's nothing compared to what the US has, but in a ZVT, it's not brilliant. Lurkers are being sieging on the low ground, trying to kind of keep that high ground level. These Marauders just don't seem to die. And as I say that, they all kind of go down. So, like I said, this is not a great position for Rogue. Don't get me wrong, but it feels like compared to 5-6 minutes ago, he's now in a situation where maybe there is something there. There's some light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I like the Hydras when he went Lingbane Hydra initially, because I felt like maybe if you could get to this kind of stage, it gives you the chances, right? It gives you the the opportunity to at least draw the game out to something that might work. And now Lurker's Burrow on the right side, so that might just be a base that dies, and SCVs to go along with it, so Rogue is going to get a pretty major pickup. Now INnoVation will still hold 5 bases through the bottom side of the map, but his drop is kind of, you know, petering out in terms of damage potential. There's only a few units left, and he's got a main army, but Lurkers are going to keep him contained a little bit. So INnoVation is now on the defensive here as Rogue comes across the map, and he's going to use the Terran SimCity against him, sieging up. The CC should lift to give INnoVation a bit more space. Right now he's running into the choke, and that's going to be how you lose a lot of units.
Yeah, this is looking a little bit better now for Rogue already. Sure, he's still trailing in supply. If he had I would love to see an overseer here, by the way. If he can just clean up those freaking mines for once in his life, that'd be great for him. This scan is also a little bit painful. Gonna lose a bunch of lurkers there. Now needs to quickly rebuild those. He only has 5 left. We see, wait, is that 11 more lurkers on the way? Holy crap. The lurker count is big, Wardy, honestly. And the fights, that it's okay, still 5k down. For a bit, he only was like 2,500 down, and it was looking better. Now we see lurkers moving into the 3rd base, trying to get some SCVs, I guess, or what was he doing? He's just trying to force out scans almost, it feels like.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like these lurkers are kind of expensive, right? You know, 2 of them hitting a planetary from a distance, it's like you deny a little bit of mine time, but it costs you 2 whole lurkers. It's not like Rogue has a massive bank to play with.
I think this was a bit of a distraction, though, right? A distraction to try and go towards the right side, maybe try to get the
whole
base.
position
Oh my
lurkers.
God.
Oh! Wow, that was sick. That was a flank. So already the Terran army is going to be surrounded, but then you hold position them, so you have no idea until you've lost everything. That's an army supply swing that could just put INnoVation in a lot of trouble.
Holy crap, and now we have that counterattack I was talking about earlier. We see those lurkers move in. There's no overseer here. Oh, Rogue, an overseer would help so much, not only for high ground vision, but also clearing up those mines. Those mines go down through the splash damage, actually. I think Inno might be in a little bit of trouble, but a little bit. He's in a crap ton of trouble here, Wardy.
I mean, his production is sieged up by lurkers, right? So he doesn't have the position he needs on the map. He can't get units out. His money, his bank is gone. He's got CCs and bases for days, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't have a standing army. And that means he's going to lose the production. He won't be able to get anything else back on the map. And now Rogue is surging across with all of the reinforcements. Lurker's burrowing on different bases all over the place too. And there's no detection, so INnoVation can't deal with it. He's going to try and drop on top of Lurkers. If you've ever seen desperate Terran plays, this is one of them. The Lurkers are going to be huge, though. The Hydras are putting out damage. And Rogue pulls off the most ridiculous comeback after... I mean, it was until like 2 minutes ago. It kind of felt like, okay, now he's maybe on, you know, on the right track again, but positions.
Yeah, this was such a wild game, honestly. It almost makes you forget that this started with 20 kills on the Banshees. Yeah. Holy freaking crap. That was crazy. Absolutely crazy. But we're here in game number 2, in the top left, spawning as the blue Terran player. The man who's down a game is going to be INnoVation.
And with the Lurker play of the year, we have Rogue in the bottom right.
Rogue in the bottom right, indeed.
What do you think? Lurker play of the year so far for 2021?
Honestly, ever since I think it was sort of DNS, right? On, what was the map called? That was the last big Lurker play that I've seen.
What happened in that one?
I'm pretty sure you casted it, Wardy.
Sort of DNS?
Yeah. I think it's sort of DNS.
In what tournament?
I don't know. It's a lot, like two years ago, maybe.
2 years ago?
Yeah. I can't get the map name in my head now, but it was very similar, where you're sort of just burrowed, and DNS walked on top of his entire Immortal Archon army, just gets blasted to the bone, like absolutely destroyed by freaking lurkers. That was a legendary moment. And that's one of those moments where, as a Protoss, you go, I wish I had an observer with my army. And I guess it's a Terran. I mean, you can't really scan every area of the map, right? So it's a little more tricky to deal with. But nah, that was a beautiful flank.
Some of my chat says so in 2014. Sort of did win a map of DNS in 2014, but I feel like he might not have been using lurkers in 2014.
maybe actually sort of didn't end up winning that game. But I just remember there being, I'm pretty sure it's sort of DNS. Someone's got to get that clip because maybe all the clips got removed. Yikes.
Thanks.
Yikes. I think it was on Reddit as well, so should be able to find it at some point in our lives.
That doesn't make a difference if the clips got removed, mate.
No, stream link, you don't mirror.
If you want our Starcraft.
Yeah, maybe not.
We're not so full of drama that we need streamable. Like,
Yeah, not yet.
no.
It's coming though.
What, the Starcraft drama's heating up?
Yeah, this is the time to invest in StarCraft drama.
Oh, CCC from INnoVation. You know, INnoVation is, I see this happen to INnoVation a lot. Like, he has a really good first game, and he loses, and he's like, ... and then he's like, okay, well, I'll just win twice again. And he still wins the series. Like, I actually feel INnoVation is really unfazed by, like, these game ones sometimes. If he is phased, I think he would proxy Rax or something. Like, he'd just be like, screw this, I'm out. Like, let's just go. But, like, when he opens 3CC, I truly believe he's feeling
it's
it.
a pretty big tournament, right? You're not just gonna say screw it and proxy rack. Like, the prize money here is really, really nice. There's a lot of good players. I feel like INnoVation also kind of cares about winning and being, so there's some pride involved there, probably. Ooh, look at this cute little Reaper movement. It's not gonna be able to get a drone, obviously, but still managed to poke in. It's now gonna be running for his dear life as Rogue. Actually, he's going to open up a pneumatized carapace, so wants to be getting some info. It's just going to be seeing triple CC though, so nothing of massive interest here for him.
Yeah, it does obviously give him some options. You can do a little bit of a link counter drop with this, overload speed a bit later on once you get up to lair, or sometimes if you want to get really wild. I've seen a couple of people even try and bring queens across the map in certain situations to kill a Terran, but of course, for now, just going to be the scouting that you get out of it, so it gets to see the 3CC, and it's kind of crazy because it feels like Rogue has had such a good read on the Terran so far. It doesn't feel like he was one to need the overload speed just yet. Yeah,
it's weird to see, but I guess maybe on Romanticide there's something a little bit different about it, it makes it harder for him, and he just wants to, kind of throw his opponent off a little bit.
Yeah, maybe
he could also want to be using it like for bailing drops later on, right? Or link drops. So maybe there's some game plan involved there. I'd be surprised if we're gonna see Muras this time around. I just have I feel like after a game like that, you want to be going back into Hydra Bane Lurker. But then again, Muras is really popular on this map.
Mira's just good on this map, right? Like, you always can rotate into like a different base, and you've got some dead air space outside of the natural and the third to get to, so you always pretty much have like an exit route into somewhere safe. As Hellions actually going to drive by and get 3 drones, then the Lings come in for a bit of a surround. Hellions will try to slip away 4 of them, but that's going to be surely cut down from there. No? Okay, I feel like the Lings could have got that 1 low HP Hellion, but it feels like it's not worth it. Meanwhile, 2 more drones go down, or was that just at the tail end of the Hellion shots? Must have been. As no, it was the Liberator, right? That's now being killed, so I missed the Liberator, but it got a couple kills on the end.
Honestly, not bad trades here for Rogue, though, right?
Yeah, I think if you get rid of the Liberator, you get rid of a lot of Hellions.
1 lip for 5 drones,
yeah,
13 links. Queen is gonna be pretty happy about this.
And the other Hellions go low, right? So you really do get in a position where you can just creep out, you can build drones, you don't need to make any units for a while, you don't have to worry about the Liberator. It's 100% just kind of free play for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, and not only that, of course, but also by taking out a couple of Hellions right now, perhaps run-bys later on in the game are going to be easier. There's a difference between 3 or 4 Hellions defending and 8 Hellions defending against a run-by. So it's going to be easier to surround perhaps with big link counter run-bys. And we actually seen Rogue do a lot of big run-bys. The moment he feels like he's in a dominant enough position where he can pull it off, he immediately starts with them, just sending all of his links, like literally all of them across the map, and then just keeping some Bane links at home. It's been a pleasure to see. Going to be going into 5 gas for now. We have a macro hatch coming up in the main base here for Rogue as well, who's on 69 nice workers against the 64 of INnoVation.
Yeah, INnoVation going to push out right now. Has about 20 army supply lead. Rogue follows this across the map with a changeling, so he's just pretending to be a Marine. And right now he's getting away with it as a few Hellions are paired back up and they're going to come through. Armory is not down anything, right? So it's actually kind of a big deal because then you can't start 2-2 right away. Also means you can't morph in Hellbats into this attack to soak up a couple Banelings, which is what my original point was going to be. But the lateness on 2-2 is going to give Rogue access to equal upgrades, so that's just giving up one of your advantages for free here as INnoVation.
Oh, tanks are not siege yet. We see a lot of Marines getting caught in the middle there. These tanks most likely going to be going down as well. Hellions are helping out in this fight with some good target fire. Actually, Inno managed to clean this up. That's surprising with how none of the tanks were siege yet. Is Rogue actually just gonna die? There's 3 Banelings left. Don't get targeted down. Instead, we see a pickup. INnoVation not confident enough there that he could target all of those down. Marines also were very low. Probably would be one shot there. Spore gets targeted down before it gets anything off, and we see another pickup, and INnoVation flies back to safety. This is a good start for INnoVation, by the way. A really good start, who did forget his armory, but we can forgive him.
Yeah, well, we'll let it slide as we do see Marines unloading back up the right side. They're going to go for an Overlord kill, chasing that away down the right, and going to pick up a kill right there as the Lings come across to push this drop back once again. Yeah, it was a good trade. I think the problem was, right, it took him so long to clean out the siege tanks, you know, and everything was on the tanks and kind of choking up on them, so the Marines on the right side were just free to deal damage for a long time. So
Yeah,
Rogue kind of lost a lot.
Maybe just a lack of Banelings there, right? Because usually that's kind of the task of the Banelings to at least ensure that these Marines don't have full DPS. Maybe you're not going to kill them, but at least your Lings are going to stay alive. And that's, of course, not really the case if you don't have anything to stop them from shooting. Which people kind of forget, but the Marine DPS is absolutely insane. If you have nothing to force the Marine to run away from something that explodes, or from a storm, or from a Colossus, then Marines are probably the most broken unit in the world. I mean, they're just going to trade well with absolutely everything. The thing is, because their HP is so low, Baneling Storms can push them away. Now we once again have Rogue pushing forward here. There's a lot of Banelings in this army, but once again, not enough to break that left side of this fight. Now there's 6 more Banes being morphed, but these are the final Banelings that Rogue has. Maybe.
Yeah, he's going to target fire them down as well, so now they fall. He will get rid of the couple tanks, but Marines still stand. Without Banelings, it's going to be hard to push this back. I like that INnoVation just goes continued tank production this time around against the Hydra. It's not going to go into the Widow Mines at all. While they did work really well last time, the tanks will be better for A, continuing pushes, but B, just holding off if Rogue gets to a position with Lurkers, etc. later on in the game. As INnoVation will back away one more time. It's funny, I feel like INnoVation did less this game than he did in the last game, but it feels like he's taken advantage of it much better. He's always had armies coming across, and he's been able to get into positions to keep on trading.
Okay, that last fight though wasn't it. Well, it wasn't really a fight. It's more INnoVation went to sleep, and then when he woke up, his Marines were gone. Probably was microing something at home or trying to get these units to the front. Now he has an extremely powerful army here at the front. 2-2 is about to finish up as well, +1 vehicle weapons. These tanks are a little bit close. I would love to see a tank on that high ground there. That's such a cute position that can be so difficult to break for Zerg players. Now Rogue is struggling to get that 5th base up, while INnoVation's already getting a 5th CC as well. Once again, an off-creep fight here for Rogue. Tanks doing a lot of damage, but some of the Banelings still staying alive. Might be able to finally connect with some of those Marines.
Yep, a couple of tanks still in siege as the Banelings continue to crash on in, and INnoVation supply advantages with it away here. That was 2-2 versus 1-1, right? INnoVation just got 2-2 toward the tail end of the fight. So that definitely didn't help him either.
Yeah, Rogue desperately trying to drone up to something that resembles a normal drone count. Still only at 81, 5th base finishing at 11 minutes, Wardy. That is not what you want. Hasn't been able to use like an Overlord drop or any kind of run by yet. Honestly, this entirety of this game has just been sitting back and taking it on the chin, and I feel like Rogue has kind of had enough. He wants to start doing things because that's what Rogue is best at, right? Counterattacks and little maneuvers with his secondary and his tertiary groups. It's not going to be the case this time. As long as the Lurkers aren't out, I think Rogue is going to be struggle to set something up. As I say that, of course, there is a pretty decently sized run by heading towards that top side, but there's no Banelings in there, so I don't really see any potential there.
It's just going to be so slow to go through the depots. INnoVation will get units back to deal with it in plenty of time, right? You know, the power of the run buys is the Banes bust you in right away, and then boom, you're into the action. You know, short amount of time to react as the Terran player, but yeah, you're
boom
right,
into the action, Wardy.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. But yeah, there's no booming here for Rogue, except perhaps his Banelings and Links are gonna be exploding soon. So we see a big tank push moving forward here. Creep is being cleared now. INnoVation probably wants to wait till at least some of that creep is gone. No, he doesn't give a crap. Moves forward with his Marauders, tanking a lot of Baneling hits, but there's too many Banelings here. This wasn't the fight.
This was done too quickly, right? Like he just
Yeah. I thought the pain count was extremely high. I looked at it pre-fight and it was like 42. I'm like, well, this isn't the entire army of Inno, right? Like he always keeps a crap ton at home.
yeah, it's one of those situations where I thought if you just have those tank siege, you can probably get like a few more Banes before you actually fight. But it felt like because he was so far forward with the bio, he actually let the Banelings connect before the tanks even shot at them, you know? So he didn't even get like an initial bit of like, you know, efficiency, I suppose.
Yeah, 6th base is being saturated here for Rogue. It's also going to be going up to 12 gas already. I always forget how extremely gas intensive Lurkers are, by the way. Like, this army of Rogue is super gas intensive. Already 2700 gas, and it's only 6 Lurkers so far. So we saw him go up to like, what, 12, 15 Lurkers maybe before. Nidus network.
Yeah, I like
this
it. This
brings me back to a legendary game between Hero Marine and Raynor on, God, what was this map called? Everdream, where Raynor played triple Nidus against, was it? That was earlier in 2020, right?
Is it against Mac? Is that the one you're thinking of?
Sorry?
Was it against Mac or was it against Bio?
Okay, he opened with Blue Flame Hellion into Bio.
He opened Blue, yeah, it was in the Red Bull tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in one of the Red Bull finals, or because you have to play Raynor as the boss or something, right? And he played like triple Nidus, and then the game after he played Lurkers versus Mech, and he just ran into Mech for like 20 minutes and won.
I think this was one of the first times we actually saw Lurker style being played. Because don't forget, Raynor is the one who truly popularized it, maybe even the one who invented it. He was the first one to really start doing it consistently and getting good success with it. Now, once again, we see our man Inno moving forward with just a lot of bio. Ghosts are kind of in the back there, waiting till everything is done, basically. It's like, well, another good cleanup, boys, time to go back home. Nidus starts in the main base, tank is already done, though. And in position, oh my god. Inno is not messing around. You see the turret ring? Who heard him before?
Yeah, I think it was Doc, mate. Doc will literally just, like I was saying earlier, Nidus is into the main. It's something INnoVation doesn't have a good experience with, let me tell you that much. It's not pretty, so he's taking every precaution possible to make sure that's not going to become an issue. Of course, you don't have to just Nidus in the main, though. Even if you just Nidus to a different side of the map, and it just helps you kind of rotate your aggression around more quickly, right? Then you can get more done in the game. And this game really exploded up into a lot of bases very quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, and Rogue in the driver's seat once again, by the way. It's crazy how he manages to hang into these games where he has no creep, no eco, down like 30 supply, and now, what is it, 5 minutes later, we're looking at Rogue, who's kind of dominating. I don't think you'd expect that after the start we saw. Now, we do have Inno, who is moving into something that resembles more of a late game, right? Mass Ghost, there's no real lips with here, but he has a bunch of tanks in, I guess, key positions. I'm not sure if that's going to be good enough, though. We have Nidus is on opposite ends. Now, I love this out of Rogue. I just super love this out of Rogue, because he's going to be able to rotate so rapidly from side to side. Which means if you're going to be focusing too much on siege units as INnoVation, it means that half of your army most of the time isn't going to be able to defend. But if your army is just an army that needs to move to defend, you're going to be caught out of position. So there's really no winning there, it feels like, for Inno at times. What is Rogue planning here, though? Oh, he's going to be taking 2 tanks on the left side. Meanwhile, INnoVation moving forward. But this army has no real splash. If there's any Banelings in this army, he might just be able to blow up all of these ghosts.
Yeah, I mean, these ghosts are playing a dangerous game. The only good news is that they're pretty well split, so I guess it'll be tough. But now the Lurkers come back in from the other side, and the ghosts like, wait a sec, how are we meant to snipe those boys down? He is INnoVation going to trade out well enough to keep on pushing through, so very well done. He's playing a dangerous game, but it's working out for him.
Yeah, just because something is dangerous doesn't mean you're necessarily going to die, as a couple of snipes extra go down. Should probably be thinking of picking up, yes, and moving back home. These have been some good trades for INnoVation, who's pulling ahead by about 6,000 in the resource boss tab here. There's 3 lurk. Man, these freaking like double, triple, single lurker arrests must be actually driving you insane if you're INnoVation here. The nice thing is that he does have enough scans at this point, so it's not as annoying as it perhaps could or should be. What do we have? We're on what, 6 orbitals? 7.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's I mean, honestly, the economy for INnoVation is great, and the big thing is he's really just stabilizing on base as well. There is a few lurker run-bys going around. They're not getting much more than a few SCVs or a depot or 2 every time, and now it kind of feels like these lurkers are being figured out too, right? INnoVation seems like he's constantly starting to run into them, constantly starting to shut them down, and these ghosts, I think he just attack moved his own lurker there to be able to kill this or something, or did the ghost run out of energy? I'm not sure. I think the ghost ran out of energy.
Yeah. Perhaps a combination. Ghost ran out of energy and he already was attacking his own lurker Wardy. Give credit to both players. That's what we do here on the Wardy channel.
Credit to INnoVation for running out of energy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Blinding Cloud, the Banes should go for the SCVs. They were kind of going for the tank as a massive snipes come down. The Hydra count is just flopping. It's just being sniped out of the, I say out of the sky, but Hydras don't fly. INnoVation, he gets a big cleanup. There's a lot of supply from Rogue that's disappearing. And it feels like INnoVation doesn't have to rebuild much, whereas Rogue is rebuilding 100+ Zerglings.
100+ Zerglings, Wardy. And yeah, the trades are just looking better and better for INnoVation here, pulling ahead over 11k in the units lost at this point. And as we're starting to look at this game, it kind of has something of a split map scenario. It's not a complete split map yet. The game is way too quick for that. There's too many things happening still. But I think we might be looking at that in the future. We see what the. He just moves forward with Banelings, burrows his lurkers in the face of danger, and he laughs. He's laughing in the face of danger here, Wardy, and I think danger is temporarily retreating as these ghosts are trying to heal up with the, quite frankly, insane medevac count of 14. Every ghost has its own medic as well.
I think Rogue heard that saying that a wise man once said, that just because it's a dangerous play doesn't mean you're going to die.
That's very true. Very wise man indeed. As you have, what is it, 8 lurkers sieging this planetary on the left. Another run by this man. This is difficult to catch everything here. This is an extremely high level game. I love that he has all the overseers in the super overseer mode. He's gonna be able to barely catch what's around those lurkers. The game settles down a little bit as I say that. We have another massive baning bust on this base. He's not actually gonna explode on that base right now. The Hydras will take care of that.
There's no reason to, right? I mean, it's just not worth it. The split from Inno, though, he doesn't actually take any further damage from Banes until the very end, and 11 SCVs drop, but INnoVation will push it back. He has the money, INnoVation, to kind of suffer some of these attacks, so for now that's okay, but remember, he is still going to be down overall in economy. He is obviously still trading better as well, 11k resources in his favor, so overall, this is still fine for Inno, but it is a fine line. You know, if you lose another 20 SCVs, this goes from being okay to being problematic.
Yeah, this fight is going to be extremely important. Does this base die? Does this army survive? These are questions that we want answers to. The base doesn't die, but the army does survive, so still okay for INnoVation here. As long as the Terran has a superior bank to the Zerg, he's never going to really be in trouble losing a base here and there. I mean, Inno has plenty of money to replace these command centers. That's exactly what he's doing. We will probably need to cancel this one again, though, as Rogue had some plans for it. Now, the ghost count kind of... No, wait. Where are the ghosts? Oh, the ghosts are all on the bottom left. They're having a little ghost party. These guys do not like to mingle. They're just going off by themselves. No medevacs. Like, I know there's 13 medevacs, but we can take care of our own, is what they say. And they seem to be doing a fine job against the Hydras, at least.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Turns out ghosts are pretty good. I mean, obviously only 2 or 3 Hydras getting range at a time doesn't help, but now he's even going to line up a couple of snipes, gets a lurker, and just a couple of extra kills for the ghosts as they push on through that location. This base is denied, and Rogue is running out of minerals, so he needs to be careful here, because what he starts losing now is going to become pretty much impossible to replace. He can only replace as he mines.
That's absolutely insane. The micro of Inno is so insanely good this game. Only if you compare it to the last game, where sometimes I felt like these fights didn't go that well. Lots of snipes being lined up, and these snipes are landing as well. A bunch of lurkers go down and then they retreat. Man, Inno is moving at the speed of a German magnet train, and it is it is showing, my friend.
You know, I think the problem that Rogue runs into here is he can't really afford banelings anymore, right? Like, he doesn't have that many, so when he runs at the Ghost to push them back with, like, Ling Lurker, like, yeah, you've got to run out of range of the Lurkers, but then you don't have to keep running. You can just stand and fight once you're out of Lurker range, because you can just kill the Lings. And so when that happens, you're in trouble as Rogue, because then you lose the Lings, so you've got to back away, and that just lets the Ghost start sniping the Lurkers again. So it's kind of tough to truly win any of these fights. Little Ling counterattack with this bio around this top side, a lot of it as well. So these Lings won't really do that much, and obviously when you've got a split army like this as INnoVation, it becomes very difficult for Rogue to start splitting up his army properly to trade, because especially with so many Ghosts in the bottom left, that's an army that's tough to push into, and then the mobility of the top right is going to be hard to match for Rogue.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of a point where Inno's income actually is pretty low now, huh? He's actually not making any cash.
Yeah, I guess so. There's Banelings here, so the Ghost's going to have to keep on running. The Banes get soaked by Marauders, and now we're going to see a re-engagement in, and he'll just go for a couple snipes, backs away, and let's see what else he looks for. He is going to clean out the top right base, by the way, and with it a lot of drones, which is obviously expensive, because now you're going to have to replace those and the hatchery.
Yeah, and as I said, the income isn't looking too hot. Inno literally dropped like 9 mules on that 12 o'clock base, and now he's a rich man again. He's gonna lose that bottom left base. It felt like Rogue was actually making some progress in this game. Sure, the trades still weren't good, but he was actually capable of denying a lot of income. I remember a minute or 3 ago you said, well, this is fine as long as Inno doesn't lose another 20 workers. And Inno kind of had lost another 20 workers, but now that Rogue lost that top right base, he's once again trailing in economy. He's trailing so far in units lost, and you're just not going to be getting any type of cost-efficient trades against this Terran army. Is just not possible with what Rogue currently has. This is not an army with you're going to get very cost-efficient trades, but this is funny. The Lurker is like a giant baneling, really. Like, you kind of throw it in and you sacrifice it, right? Like, this is not a unit that, even though it has 10 range and even though it's called a siege unit, it's not really a unit that does well over time. Like, you run in, like, here we go. Like, these massive 10 range banelings are going in, they're killing stuff, but Liberators are kind of zoning them out, and once again an unsuccessful bust here. 3 more extra Lurkers go down at the tail end there because of a missed move command.
And now you're going to lose the base on the bottom side as well,
Yeah.
so it's another hatch down. You're going to maybe even lose the one on the high ground. I mean, units are moving here. This is the difference, though, for INnoVation. He has Liberators, he has Ghosts, right? So Lurkers running in get punished this time around. That's something that just never really happened in game number 1. As INnoVation just going to have to pull away from this again, just stay out of Lurker range, and maybe it's too many Hydras running in as well, so he continues on out of there. As we do see him just, I mean, there's only 5 Lurkers in the upper right. Actually just cloaked up the Ghost and was going to go for it, but Lurkers waste no time in getting away, so Rogue maintains those, and he had to. I mean, he's on 155 supply. That doesn't mean I think he's going to turn it around, but obviously every unit, if he is going to find a way, is going to count a lot now, but yeah, now they're being sniped down.
Yeah, and this most likely is going to be it for the eco of Rogue, and once your eco dies and you're down, well, holy crap, it's 25k in resources lost at this point. That's a big freaking deal. Once again, Rogue taking a trade, but it doesn't look very cost efficient to my amateur eyes here. A couple more snipes going down. Rogue calls GG, and INnoVation take game number 2, where in game number 1 he didn't really feel like he wanted to ever transition out of Marine Marauder. Here he realized, hey, wait a second, Ghost.
Sorry, I wasn't in game because I was explaining something to the players. INnoVation bottom left. And top right is Rogue from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Sorry, I really took away from your amazing intro.
That's okay. I'm gonna grab some water, actually. I forgot to do it in the ads. Keep going,
I
Wardy.
want
You
some
got
water. Can you get me some? Thanks. Alright, so, game 3, we go into Oxide, which is typically one of the maps the Terran would kind of pick first. Obviously, that's not the case here. INnoVation picked Deathor, actually, as his map choice. No, sorry, he picked Romanticide as his map choice for map number 2. So, yeah, we get Oxide for game 3, which is an intriguing one. Usually in a best of 7, I would say Oxide and Submarine would be the vetoes from Rogue, but not this time around. He must have vetoed Pillars instead.
He almost always vetoes Pillars, actually. And
Yeah.
every single time he does, all the European Zergs make fun of him.
Well,
They
me
have a
too,
little
at this
laughing
rate.
party.
Me too. I mean, I don't get it. Pillars is a better map than Oxide to play, usually.
Yeah. I'm also surprised. But I guess Rogue knows something that the rest doesn't.
Yeah.
Or maybe he doesn't. The rest knows something that Rogue doesn't. It's also possible, of course. Also possible. Maybe you're just playing a dangerous game, Wardy. You know what they say about dangerous games?
Just because you're in danger, it doesn't mean you die.
Exactly. Just
Yeah, I
because.
thought that was I thought that was a top tier piece of casting. That.
How do you like the magnet
But
train?
you know what? But you know what the problem is with my joke is that no one listened to me in the first place, so no one could appreciate it the second time around. Oh, amazing. Yeah, I gotta say the banter has been on point today.
Yeah, I've been a fan as well. I've had the German magnet train for a while now in my head. I just didn't know where to use it yet. But
And
then
that
I
was the
saw-
moment.
That was the moment.
Something about like Ghost running into Rogue's base.
I said INnoVation is looking very fast. He has the speed of a German magnet train. Man, that fit like a glove, my friend. That fits so well. We actually are seeing 2 links go down as the Reaper returns to the low ground back to safety. He was in a little bit of danger, but didn't die yet, just as the wise man said. We're moving into 3 CCs coming out of Inno here. It seems that he can just play any opener and then go with triple CC, or sorry, let me rephrase that. It seems like he can open triple CC and then go into any opener. He seems to be extremely flexible from that. And he doesn't seem to see any value whatsoever in opening up with a 2cc for a faster for a faster push, maybe a more aggressive push. He does not see the value in that, or at least maybe he just believes it's way worse. And doesn't see it valuable to switch it up at least. It's something important to know, that every single time so far we have been seeing those triple CC openers. Now, is this going to be a stim? No, it's going to be a swap. So we're moving into. Actually, I say Banshee, but this could also be a Raven. It's Banshee because Inno has been playing some Raven builds, and actually on Oxide, I watched 2 games with him on Oxide. Maybe 1 game on Oxide, 1 game on Pillars, where he opened Raven actually. And then used them with like 8 cars to try and deny some creep, and it looked pretty cool. But here Banshee is going to be the unit of choice, and it's a very good unit of choice because he's going to be playing against a roach push.
Yeah, plenty of roaches on the way up as we get those coming through. Aggression coming his way, and it's nice for Inno as well because he's going cloak. He's probably going to build 2 Banshees, so that's obviously nice rather than just the 1, which sometimes you see when people go 3cc, they're like 1 Banshee for safety, but obviously 2 is always going to be better. We'll just kill roaches more quickly. The only sort of sad thing here is the Banshee is going to stay at home, so it doesn't. It's kind of like good and bad depending on how it happens, right? But
it's consistent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you miss the roaches, then it's not good. Now you see the roaches, you can send the Banshee to meet them if you want to. He actually was building an armor. He's just going to cancel that. Doesn't see the need for it. I actually wouldn't have minded Hellbats just to be a bit of a tankier frontline, but yeah, I guess save the gas for something else. Doesn't feel like it's going to give him enough use to justify it. So yeah, cancels it, gets some money back, and here we go. Banshee to start minimizing the damage. He will just defend high ground because he knows the Banshees are going to give him the low ground back soon enough that he can justify giving it up initially.
Yeah, I mean, this base is not going to go down unless he completely forgets to lift it. Second Banshee joins as well. This is looking awful for a Rogue here, who only is getting 4 workers. INnoVation up, 4 workers still. Now, usually you'd say, well, if you kill like 15 to 20 workers here as a Zerg, that's probably still going to be good for the Terran. And in this case, I mean, 3 Rex is done already. We have reactors on the way. The only thing we're lacking at this point is the eBay. And don't forget, the Banshees still need to fly across the map. This is not over. Or well, at least the damage coming out of Inno is not going to be over yet. He still has 5 cars ready as well, waiting for potential run-bys. We see 5 spores going down right now, but they're not done yet, so we're going to be seeing at least 2 work. No, he's going to shoot a queen instead.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I love the point of the cars still being around, right? Because usually I think in a lot of these attacks, you lose a lot of your units in defending it, right? And now INnoVation lost like 3 Hellions, and that was about it. So you do have just that added extra when it comes to a counterattack. Once he has Stim or so, he's going to have like Hellions with a Marine tank push. That's going to be so hard for Rogue to handle.
Yeah, I mean, these Banshees are already difficult to handle because people don't realize, but when you're playing a Roach push, one of the sacrifices you make is in the queen count. That's why we saw you might be wondering, like, why the heck did he build 5 spores? Like, can't he just deal with it with 1 spore and a couple of queens? No, he can't, because he simply only has 4 queens instead of, well, usually against Terran, the minimum of queens you build is 7. That is the minimum. Like, I see people go up to 9, 10 queens, certain build orders. I've seen Rainer play like 15 queen against certain 2-rex builds. Like, it is not uncommon to go up to 8, 9 queens, but right now he only had 4 and he lost 12 workers to these 2 Banshees because of that. He just doesn't have the queens to deal with it. So, and he also invested a crap ton in sports. He's still up 10 workers, sure, but he's down 20 supply against the Terran, who's also going to be up in upgrades. If that isn't sad enough, he's now also supply blocked and he has a Roach Warren. Now, having a Roach Warren by itself would be sad, but being supply blocked, down in supply, and having a Roach Warren, that is that's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit of sadness. Like, that's the 3 parts, my friend. It's not looking good for Rogue here.
It really isn't, man. INnoVation, he's bouncing back from that loss in game 1 and now looking so good. I mean, this is obviously the best position he's been in early game out of all of the games that we've seen so far. Even the 20 drone kills in that first game wasn't as good as this right now, so he is looking absolutely stellar. The problem is as well, just because it's Roaches and Ravages from Rogue, there's very little comeback mechanics in this sort of composition as well. You know, your comeback is hoping you can overwhelm the Terran, and that doesn't happen when you're already starting off behind on army supply when your first 15, 20 Roaches on the map.
Yeah, you know, it's bad when the other guy almost has as many tanks as you have Roaches. As we see, you know, moving across the map, he's gonna kill a fort base completely unaware that his opponent is Roach maxing on 66 drones. And well, you know, there's some Roaches here, I guess, probably just a defensive mechanism. Like, this is what you would see against a 2-base tank calling, right? This is the build you play, and this is the situation you'd expect, except here, you know, kind of has 3 bases, he has 5 racks, and he's just killing. Like, he's absolutely destroying Rogue here. Rogue is falling behind in supply. 3 tanks are still alive, and honestly, as long as the backbone of this army stays alive, the marine count isn't quite as important.
Yep. I mean, if the tanks are still here, the Marines can just sort of fall back to them all the time. And even if the tanks start to get cleaned out now, the trade has already been made, right? You've completely reset any sort of Roach count. You've denied a 4th base. For INnoVation, this is completely just reinforced, go again. You're on equal bases against the Zerg. You know, the game is in your hands as you go to 2-2 upgrades, and Rogue's going to try and go to Hive, and I guess introduce Vipers to try and help with the siege tanks.
Yeah, and then probably go into Lurkers from there, right? So you kind of go like Roach Hydra into Viper. Dark used to play this style a couple of times. Now, not too many people are very keen on it. As I'm actually not sure what makes it that much worse, but they're just not very keen on going Roach Hydra into Lurker rather than having those Banelings. I guess your counterattacks aren't as powerful. You can't really have Banelings ready to do any type of damage. This Banshee managed to sneak back in, get 2 more kills, and Rogue is he actually gonna try to go for a bust? I hope not. I mean, he sees a fort base going down. That should be a major tell. Like,
yeah.
The moment you show up with 25 Roaches and the other guy is building a fort base, it's either the luckiest day of your life, or it just means you're so far behind that he can't even be bothered to build bunkers, you know? And in this case, it's the second one, and that's not a good thing here. That's not a good thing. We have 5 more Ravagers on the way for Rogue. We see the Hydra then go down, go up to 8 gas as well. I mean, down 20 supply. And there's 21 Roaches, 5 Ravagers on the map. He's getting an okay drone count at this point. This is the one thing we can say. And don't forget that every single game so far, Rogue seemed to be kind of far behind, honestly. Now this is extreme, I have to admit. This is way worse than the other games, but I mean, if there's one guy that apparently can do it, it's probably Rogue. Maybe we can see some more sneaky Lurker plays. 8 Marines drop into the main base. 2 Roaches managed to push it back for now. The spores actually coming in handy now. I mean, building 5 spores seems like a big investment, but now actually pushing away this medevac a second time. So nice little defense there for Rogue, who once again is getting a Lurker den.
Yep, look at Den coming up, so if he can get there, then maybe, but I'm still not a believer in the Roach Ravager frontline at all. I'm just going to be seeing INnoVation is going to have A nice round of tanks here to back up this Marine force, which just pushes in. And again, it's just a lot of damage in this army, right? Because this is like mostly Marines as well. It's actually very high Ravager counts, so the Marines are perfect. You don't even need that many Marauders. The tanks will take care of the Roaches very quickly. And then you just want Marines to kind of, you know, basically out DPS the Ravagers and to break on through. And right now, Marines on their own are starting to run into Ravagers on the top side, and he's going to give it a bit of respect and back it away. But of course, he can also just push the tanks even further forward from here and just choke out this fourth base. And Rogue doesn't really have a good answer to this. Corrosive Bowels on the army would be pretty nice if they land. He does get a couple medevacs, but again, the tanks are still the issue, and you're not even getting close to biling those down.
Yeah, it's been some good biles actually so far. A lot of Marines have been going down, but like you mentioned, it's looking bleak here for Rogue, who is morphing in more and more Ravagers. The Marine count is dwindling slowly but surely. Tanks are getting a little bit of damage. One tank actually goes down. That's the first tank we see fall. Still a lot of Ravagers in this army, so second tank is gonna go down, but at what cost is the question here, as Rogue is losing more and more Roaches, more and more Ravagers, and is now down 20 supply. 3-3 has started already here for INnoVation as well, who is relentless in his aggression, Wardy.
Yep, he is just going to keep it moving, isn't he? As you see the bio continue to move on in. Tanks still setting up, and the Roach Ravager still trying to come in as well from Rogue. I mean, he's going to try and clean this out, but it's just not going to go too well for him. GG is called, and INnoVation is going to pick up game number 3 of this series. He's going to take this down, wrap it up, and INnoVation is the winner of our second series of the day.